The fresh, resonating tone of liberty is upon us, calling Americans to engage and activate.
Liberty cannot be preserved without a general knowledge of the people. Our brave troopers go to war defending freedom and liberty.
Liberty.
And liberty.
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 Liberty and justice for all.
Liberty.
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 Your liberty. The government fears the people. There is liberty.
Yes, Liberty Day for Liberty.
Liberty itself.
Our mission ought to be to defend this country, preserve liberty.
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 Freedom and liberty. Liberty.
Liberty. Liberty.
Liberty.
Liberty.
Liberty.
Liberty gave us liberty, the life, the liberty, and to the pursuit of happiness.
I'm Phil O'Connell for Tea Party HD, here at the feet of Statue of Liberty in Las Vegas, Nevada. Let's hear what people think about their liberty here in America.
Liberty is what our forefathers basically fought for. It's our ability to do what we want when we want.
Being part of a United States citizen and not having to worry about anything else and having freedom.
It means freedom, having choices.
You know, you're free to do what you want, when you want it, within reason, of course.
I don't know anymore.
And that's some bull.
It's not necessarily always freedom in here. It's so-so. You have freedom in very small amounts. It's very specific things. It's not necessarily the freedom that they advertise.
Your choice of what you believe in.
People died to give us these liberties and these freedoms and the ability to make our own choices in life.
You get to say what you need to say, and you get to speak your mind. So I believe that liberty here, it's fair.
Right, what do you think about the Obama administration and the change that has come?
You know, I cannot stand the change in the administration. It's basically screwed me out of my ability to make a living.
I think people thought that the economy would recover a lot quicker than it did, but unfortunately I don't think it did. And a lot of people are disappointed, and I think they're looking for another change now.
He really hasn't done anything for the country, so I just think it's getting worse.
I've seen the change, but it's not anything we've desired.
And I believe everybody's going to get grouped into one thing, and I don't think it's right.
Have you seen the change that he proposed?
Yes, and I don't like it. The change he proposed is not what he's going after right now. He's doing massive spending with the $787 billion economic stimulus bill when we're in a $14 trillion national debt, and it makes no sense. The liberals feel like they can spend their way into, a better or get out of a recession, when in fact, by taxing less, it puts more money in the pockets of consumers, and that stimulates the economy naturally. And anyone who understands simple macro and microeconomics would know that.
When you're talking trillions of dollars of deficits, I think anybody with remote common sense would, could arrive at the conclusion that that's not something that that's not the hole you dig yourself out of in a couple of years.
Capitalism is dying in the United States. That's the bottom line. And I think this next election is going to prove that. People want to be able to make a living for themselves, and I just hope people come out and vote.
Would you say that the Obamacare and the health care actually gives or take some of the freedom and liberty in America?
I believe it's absolutely going to take away the liberty of the United States of America.
I've lived long enough to know that sometimes you make temporary sacrifices for future gains.
Our nation's gotten to where it seems to be so popular to be liberal and anything goes, and it's unpopular to take stands and say what you think in your own opinion. Freedom of speech has kind of been pushed aside to political correctness. We have to worry about whether we offend anybody or anything rather than standing on what our beliefs and our morals have been for 2 centuries.
I think at this point it's probably a critical time in our country's existence, just more on the economic side of things.
If I say what I really want to say, what the f***? That's all I got to say. What the f***?
Those who expect to reap the blessings of freedom must undergo the fatigue of supporting it. Join the movement